Welcome to this week's edition of Landscape Smart, brought to you by Rademann Stone and Landscape Company. And the lines are open for you, so call early, 920-923-1450, 888-900-1450, as we say good morning and welcome to the one and only Ron Rademann, who should be celebrating today with, flags and banners. It is National Love a Tree Day.
Really?
It is.
You got to like that.
Yeah, I knew you would.
It's almost as popular as Arbor Day and Earth Day. And
Memorial Day.
Yeah,
all the above.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
So anyhow, welcome. And we also say welcome to Delores, our master gardener this week. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Good to see you again. And again, the lines are open. We always suggest you call early. If you want to email, the address is kfizstudio@gmail.com. And is Rademann's open today? It's a beautiful day.
Yeah, and it's busy. Yeah, it's been this is almost like the busiest week, or this coming week, when you're coming up on Memorial Day weekend, everybody's wants to kind of...
We got the bug.
Work out get some projects started, get some projects finished. So same thing with Rademann's, the earlier you go, but the better there also.
Mm-hmm.
But, they are around till noon today, and maybe a few minutes after noon today.
Depends on how long the line is.
Right, yeah, because it is busy there this morning. So
Deliveries available?
Yeah, deliveries are still available as of right now. They will probably fill up quick. So there again, too, if you want to get in on a delivery for today, for sure call ASAP.
And
as
the number
soon as possible.
The number on Highway B is
920-922-7612.
All right. And having been there, I guess I can say the plant sale was a rousing success, huh, Delores?
Yes, it was very busy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't see you. I was busy in the shop. There's a section we call the shop where we have more decorative things. A lot of succulents in decorative pots.
I didn't get in there this year. I got over to the stuff I needed and then got in line.
Oh, that line was terrible.
But it moved right along. They had enough stations. You had enough stations there to keep things moving.
Yeah, it was beautiful. It's a nice day.
Yeah, it was. Saw a lot of people though, that I knew. Like we talk, you always run into somebody you know there.
Right. It is Fond du Lac where it seems like no matter where you go or what you do, whether it's a Friday night or a Saturday morning or a Saturday night,
you're going to see somebody.
Mm-hmm.
All righty. Well, we'd like to hear from you if you have any questions. 920-923-1450. Get your questions in early. Any recommendations for what we're doing this weekend, Ron?
Well, it's time now. You could be going back and if you got step 1 and step 2 in early enough in the season, you could probably do step 2 again here in the next week or two, because the temperatures are still good that way. We're not into quite summer yet. And even though we have a couple of these 70 and 80 degree days, then come middle of next week, we're going to go back into the 60s again. So, that's good working weather, good gardening weather, kind of crummy Memorial Day weekend weather if you're going to try and enjoy it, but it's good working weather other than that.
We make the best out of what we got.
Yeah, and we're at the time where you've got to get your fruit trees sprayed. You want to get that first application down, or in right now, spraying your fruit trees, fungicides. If you have problems with needle cast on your spruce trees, primarily blue spruce and some of the other varieties of spruce like that, you want to get that down right now. Fungicide spray, get those, spray it now and wait about 3 weeks and spray it again, and you might be done for the season at that point in time. But
bushes as well?
Yeah. Well,
because I got some bushes that are subject to powdery mildew, and last year I sprayed them, and I didn't have a problem.
Yeah, any of those fungicides right now, you got to get started. You can't wait until you see the problem in, the end of June and July. By then it's too late. You got to get started spraying now. Or if you have like some of the older varieties of flowering crab that are more susceptible to the different apple scab and other funguses, powdery mildew, like you said, you got to spray those now. By the time you see the problem and you call us, the middle or end of June, then it's too late. So, and most of the time, you could spray, every 3 weeks or so, but if you get them this first application and the second application, a lot of times you don't really need to follow through in July, because by then it's cool. It's hotter and drier, so the fungus issues aren't as prevalent then. So if you knock this first wave of fungus down, usually you don't have to spray all summer long. So
with all these showers and storms in the forecast, do it today or wait until Wednesday or Tuesday afternoon when the rain is done?
Well, the best time to do it is when you have time to do it. And, if you can spray and it doesn't rain for, wash it off for 4, 5, 6 hours, then you're in the clear. If you spray an hour later, it rains, then you're going to lose some effectiveness.
Okay.
But if you can, you spray now and it doesn't rain till, later this afternoon or tonight, then you'd be okay.
Good to know. Mm-hmm. Another thing to put on my Saturday to-do list. I'm running out of day. I got more stuff to do.
And out at Rademann's, there's like hose end sprayers, which are so easy to do. You just take your garden hose out there, hook it up, and it self-measures the product and put it back on the shelf in your garage when you're finished spraying. And you can do it all over again in another, 2 or 3 weeks. But that'll... And there's concentrate, too, that you can mix up in a 1 or 2 gallon sprayer or whatever and carry it out if you have to get further out into your yard than what you want to do with the garden hose. But, for my yard at home, I just like to use those hose end sprayers because it's just easy. You go in the garage, grab it off the shelf, hook it on the garden hose, spray it down, put it back, 20 minutes later, you're all finished. So I like those pre-mixed ones like that.
Alrighty. Got a caller. Good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning. I need dirt.
Well, we've got dirt.
So, because I have garden boxes, and is there a specific kind of dirt I got to get for them?
Well, for something like that, I would do the garden mix at Rademann's, and I don't know how much you need. You can either stop on out and with some totes and get what you need, or otherwise, if you have a larger raised bed or garden bed, then obviously might be easier to have it delivered.
Yes.
And so. But the garden blend mix would be the best for that. It's a blend of black dirt, topsoil, and compost. So
really, because I need at least 5 to 6 inches to go to the top of my garden boxes. I got 1, 2, 3, 4. I got maybe 10 garden boxes.
Okay.
I need at least 5 inches of it filled.
What you should do is measure the height, the width, and the length of each one so you know exactly how much, and they can figure out how much soil you'll need.
Okay, because I want it delivered. Okay.
Yeah, if all the garden boxes are the same size, you can just measure one, of course, and kind of keep in mind that it could settle out a little bit. So if you think you need 5 inches, maybe figure on 6 inches. Just to make sure, because what you don't want to do is end up, not having enough for that last garden box, because then you're paying for we think our delivery charges are very reasonable at Rademann's, but if you have to have an extra one, then all of a sudden it isn't quite so reasonable anymore.
Right. Yeah, because I want them to come and bring it into my driveway, drop it off on the driveway. Because you got a big truck and a smaller truck?
Yeah, so depending on how much you need, then, they'll decide if they want it. More than likely, I'm pretty sure the small truck we have would be more than sufficient for garden boxes, though.
Okay.
Because we can get 7 or 8 cubic yards on that small truck. So
okay.
So that would be more than enough for if you're just working out of garden boxes.
You're open till
I'm guessing
today?
Probably 2 yards is maybe what you'd need. So if it comes out to 22 yards, there's a miscalculation.
Right.
Yeah, open till noon today, but I would call right away here right now this morning if you want to.
Because I need it. I'm off of work next Friday, and I thought, they can come next Friday and deliver it.
Oh, then there's no real hurry to call. You can still call today and get it set up for next Friday.
Okay.
But Friday deliveries, especially Memorial Day weekend, they'll fill up. If you call next Saturday, I don't think you'd get a delivery. The Fridays and Saturdays the next weekend will definitely fill in. Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'll see what I can do and give them a call and they can come in the morning. How early do you guys come?
Well, they actually start already at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Do they really? Ooh.
So you can get a jump on things. Yeah, typically they're delivering to contractors that early rather than homeowners. But if you're an early bird and it's light at 6 o'clock and you want to beat the heat of the day, well, that works. Or otherwise, even Thursday afternoon could be a good time for delivery.
Because I think I might stop over by you today before lunch, and I want to look at the dirt and see what it looks like. It's fine, right? It's not gonna. Is it graded too?
It's shredded. It's shredded and screened to make sure there's no rocks and clumps in it. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Awesome. Well, thank you so much. Thank you.
Artie, good luck with your project.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Take care. 920-923-1450, 888-900-1450. First break.
Well, you just heard it all from Rademann's just in the last 2 or 3 minutes, but we are open today until Saturday until noon, and you can stop on out. The easiest way is from Highway 41. You exit off on County Trunk B, exit off to the east, and we're just down the road about a quarter mile right there at the crest of the hill.
We are back. Landscape Smart, brought to you by Rademann Stone and Landscape Company. And lines are open for you and your questions. 920-923-1450, 888-900-1450. If you want to email the question in, it's kfizstudio@gmail.com. During the break, you were mentioning all the things that the season is open for us right now.
Yeah, you can pretty much just step out your back patio door and find something that you should be working on. So, the other one that it's a good time to take advantage of is getting that, getting your chickweed killer down there. If you're spraying that, and we have it available in concentrate, so there it doesn't work. That's one that doesn't really work well out of a hose end sprayer. So we only have that available in like pints, which covers a pretty good sized area. It's a concentrated product, and then you'll mix that up in a 1 gallon sprayer, 2 gallon sprayer, depending on your size of your yard and your problem. But and you want to do that this coming week here too. Right now, chickweed is and it works on clover and all the what I call the viney weeds. It'll kill dandelions too, but you don't need to use something that potent on dandelions. A typical weed killer would work fine on dandelions. But if you're going to do, and we have some different, Weed Beater Plus and Weed Beater Ultra that work fine on dandelions, but the chickweed killer, if you're trying to get rid of those viney lawn weeds, now's the best time to get that taken care of. It usually takes 2 applications because of just the way it grows. You've got the big leaves on the top and the tiny leaves coming in underneath, and it's systemic, so you have to spray it and it'll kill 75% or 80%, and then if you wait about 10 days and put a second application, you'll get that last 20 or 25% was hidden underneath the top weeds that you have. So on clover and chickweed and the creeping Charlie and creeping Jenny and all of those, that's the best way to attack them.
And it really works on those creepies.
Yeah,
I've used it. It really works.
Yeah, the chickweed killer is our top selling product, gardening product. We don't sell more chickweed than stone. We are still Rademann Stone Company, so we sell a lot more stone than chickweed.
I would hope so.
but as far as like chemicals like this, our chickweed killer is by far our number one seller. Obviously it works well and everybody's happy with it. So and usually, 1 pint is enough for both applications, unless you'd have a big yard or a big problem. So,
alrighty, got a caller. Good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning.
Hi.
I have 2 questions this morning. We have a clematis, and the leaves are so many leaves are yellow, and we're wondering what we should be spraying them with, or.
It sounds like it might be more of a deficiency in like fertilizer. Mm-hmm. So I think what I would do is use like out at Rademann's we've got a Fertilome product that you mix up and put it in you could mix it up in a small pail or a
sprinkling can.
Sprinkling can is the word I was looking for.
Team effort here.
Yeah, if you put it in like a sprinkling can, with a spout on it, and then you could pour it around the base of the plant, and you could even lightly put a little right on the leaves. I would maybe mix up a kind of almost.
Would I be able to buy this around Waupun, whatever it is?
Yeah, I would maybe there you might be best off. What are my friends there on the south side of Waupun, out on Highway?
Wren's Nursery.
Wren's, thank you. Yeah, Wren's should have that in, because it's a pretty, and there's different ones, and just you could kind of even if you walk in there and explain your problem and tell them that that you need a water soluble fertilizer, and then they'd be able to. I would use something like a 20-20-20 if they would have it, or 16-16-16. A balanced product like that, and if it would have
20-20.
You have some.
So maybe I could use that.
Is it do you mix that with water though, or?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, then that would, if it's a water soluble that you mix up with water, then that would be fine. Mm-hmm.
Okay. The other thing is, I'm wondering, has it been sitting in water lately? With all the rain we've had, are the roots really wet?
No, I don't think so. We'd had this problem last year too.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Then I'd do the fertilizer.
Yeah, I'd say it's a fertility issue.
Mm-hmm.
Then it sure sounds that way, and so yeah, that would be the best. Mm-hmm.
And you know that clematis likes to have its roots cool, so you should plant something bushy in front of it.
Oh, what's on a trellis? Huh? So.
Yeah, but
Just
it's roots.
Yeah.
The roots need to be kept cool.
So if you have mulch,
Yeah, mulch helps a lot.
yeah, like shredded bark mulch would be the best there, not like grass clippings and things like that. You want to use more of something a little more airy and fluffy, like shredded bark. And there, if you could stop at Wren's also and get a bag there. That would be probably, you don't need much. One small bag would be enough around a clematis. Just do a 2 foot circle or
2
something.
foot, yeah.
Yeah, about 1.5 to 2 feet foot circle. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then I also have the flower flax, and I guess you're supposed to spray them every couple weeks so they don't get all brown on the bottom later on.
Well, flax are kind of susceptible to like different mildews and funguses. Some of the newer ones are better.
But the old-fashioned
But
one
the
almost
old-fashioned-
always gets it.
Mm-hmm. So there, I would spray a fungicide on that. Wren's should have that available too, and that's a whole different product than your fertilizer. Would be water soluble fertilizers, and there I would start spraying right now, and then in a couple weeks do it again. The fungicides almost need to be applied about every 10 days or 2 weeks apart.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I guess that should answer my questions.
All righty. Well, good luck.
Yep. Thank you.
Take care. Lines are open now, 923-1450, 888-900-1450 via email, kfizstudio@gmail.com.
Yeah, all of that. And if you're tuning in late and you missed the first half of the show, you can always go on KFIZ and KFIZ On Demand, or otherwise check us out on YouTube. Just search for Landscape Smart 26, as in 2026, which is the year we're at, and you'll get this year's advice. If you end up on 2024 or 2025, it's going to be the wrong advice, because last spring was completely different than this spring.
Yes, it sure was.
Yeah,
So-
no kidding.
So make sure you're listening to 2026, because otherwise we're going to give you all the wrong advice.
Let's grab a call. Good morning. You're on the air.
Thanks for taking my call. Question, can you put fungicide and sprays for insects at the same time, or is there a combination application? How can I work that?
Well, actually, if you'd stop out at Rademann's, there we have a product that we use for fruit trees. So it's a fruit tree spray, actually, and that has both an insecticide and a fungicide in it. And so then you could, and it's available on a hose end sprayer or concentrate, and that would solve. Again, you would spray it about every 10 days. So you could start any time here now and then wait about 10 days and reapply it. So, yeah,
Okay,
that would be
works.
the easiest one. We don't have, it's kind of a triple action. You'd use that on roses, apples and fruit trees, or for that matter, phlox too. It wouldn't hurt. So,
So I can use it on other shrubs?
sure, you can use it pretty much on everything. You always want to look at the label just to see if there's anything that you shouldn't use it on. But for the most part, I think pretty much anything you could be using that on. I can't think of anything offhand that it doesn't work with. Let's put it that way.
Okay, so as long as I can use it for both, that's fine with me. I have a problem with fungicide one time and then it'll be insects the next time. So that's why I was wondering if there was a combination stuff I can use. So
Yeah, and if
that
you
answers that.
no, and it's a good way to attack it. You're not targeting. Sometimes you're targeting one problem, and then a week later a different problem shows up. So that is a good way to go at it. Mm-hmm.
Save a lot of time.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I want to save.
Don't we all?
Okay, thanks.
All righty, thanks for the call. Oops, they gave up. You'll have to call back. 923-1450, 1-888-900-1450. And let's dive into break two while we wait for them to call back.
Yes, some of those products are good to, they have dual purposes. So it's always good. Again, Rademann's open till noon today, Monday through Friday until 4:30. And you can give them a call, see if you can talk them into doing a delivery yet today. 920-922-7612.
Caller waiting. We'll get to that right after the break. We are back. Landscape Smart, brought to you by Rademann Stone and Landscape Company. We got a caller waiting. Ron had a further thought, though, before we grab the call.
Well, when you were... when Jerry comes up with the questions during the break like that, and like when we're delivering garden mix to you, we can also bring along a small bag of starter fertilizer too, and drop that off together with your garden mix, and then you can blend that in. If you're filling up planters like our first caller did earlier this morning. The fertilizer, you can't go wrong, our soil is fertile, but a little more fertilizer will definitely, kickstart your vegetables
and keep going through the season.
Right. The starter fertilizer, it'll last for, it's a starter fertilizer. It won't last all season long. Then you're going to have to do another application. It'll get things going for the first 3-4 weeks, and then it gradually fades out too. So, but that gets you off to a real good start. And a lot of times you don't need much after that.
All righty. Let's grab our call. Good morning. You're on the air.
Hi. I bought a brand new house, and I don't have a yard yet.
Okay.
And I have no idea, like where to get dirt or how it's sold or what kind of grass to even plant. Is that something that I could stop at your store and you would give me advice on it?
Sure. You could do that. Because we work with all the local are you in Fond du Lac or Fond du Lac area?
Yeah, North Fond du Lac.
Sure.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then they can kind of give you some names. You want to probably just have a landscape contractor come over and just take a look at that specializes in lawns. Not that specializes in lawn care. You don't need that, but you need and then they can determine how much. If they stop and look at your yard, they can see how much soil you're going to need and things like that, and then they can give you an estimate on that and get you all set up. There's I'm a little afraid to start mentioning names because then I start I forget one, but you could you could talk to Stewart's Landscaping, Touch the Earth would be good. Roffer's Landscaping, they do lawns. Country Touch, they do lawns. So, that's, again, there's 4 names right there, and there's a couple more that I should be mentioning too, but that it would get you off to a good start. And it doesn't hurt to talk to more than one there too, because, but there are grading plans and things like that. You have to put in enough soil to make sure that you're not, your neighbor's water isn't all running into your yard. And there's different, inspections that'll take care of all that in the village of North Fond du Lac or the city of Fond du Lac. You have to have an approved drainage so that you're not running all your water into your neighbors and they're not running all their water into yours. So.
Okay. And I've read different things too about when's the best best time to plant grass. And I've read that fall is the best. What would you recommend?
Well, I would still try and get it done right now if you can, because, you don't want to be sitting all the way till October waiting for grass, you want to be able to, you're moved into this house already?
Yes.
Yeah, then you're there to water it and keep an eye on things. So I would call, get some calls, and these contractors are and they're backed up. I can tell you that right now, that we did not get off to an early start this year because it was pretty wet. So if you can get somebody to do it, even if it is, the middle of June or the end of June, and I think that would almost be your best case scenario, I would still try and do it in June yet if you can. If it gets pushed into the middle of July, then maybe you want to wait till the middle of August and do it. But the best lawns, it seems like, year in and year out, are the ones that get put in in the middle of August. It always, middle of August even beats September, so don't wait that long. But if they can get it done here in the next month or so, that would even be better yet. And all of a sudden, these contractors, you get a dry week and they can make time up in a hurry. So, when they won't ever, they can't ever give you an exact date, because we don't know if it's going to rain every day for the next month or every other day or not rain at all. So, no contractor will ever give you an exact date. It's just, they couldn't, unless they tell you they're coming tomorrow, then, that they probably could do. But if they start telling you, later on into the season, it could be a week earlier, it could be a week later. So,
Okay. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Good luck with your lawn.
Thank you.
Take care. All righty, lines are open, 923-1450, 1-888-900-1450, and KFIZ studio at gmail.com is available as well.
Yeah, and make sure that, you're getting a good blend of grass seed. Grass seed, you can buy it for one price, or double that, or triple that, quadruple that. Maybe you don't need the one that's quadruple price, but if you work with Madison Park's blend, that's a try. It's a blend that's been developed here in Wisconsin for Wisconsin, and it's kind of always evolving. They improve grasses, so if you have Madison Parks, they'll take out one variety it's a blend of, I think 12 different grasses, a mixture of bluegrasses and fescues, and a little rye in there too, but rye grows too fast. You don't want all rye, or you'll be mowing 3 times a week, and you don't want, all bluegrass, because it takes 3 weeks to germinate. So the blend kind of gets it started. So the Madison Parks is the best blend, and that is available at Rademann's. And you could, in a case like this, she could go to Rademann's and buy, the Madison Parks, or specify that she wants Madison Parks, and these contractors will use what you pay, use what you ask for. So.
All righty. Then while we're waiting for our next call, let's take our final break.
Yeah, our time is zipping right down. We're under 10 minutes left. So again, Rademann's open till noon today, Monday through Friday till 4:30. And if you want to stop on out and say hi, there may be a little wait today, but and anytime next week. Just 3 miles south of Fond du Lac, and then east off of Highway 41 on County B, just right there.
We are back. The final few moments of this week's edition of Landscape Smart, brought to you by Rademann Stone and Landscape Company. If you got a question, I'd seriously suggest calling it in now. 920-923-1450. Email-wise, KFIZ Studio at gmail.com. And speaking of emails, we did get one from Anita, who is a member of the Green Thumb Garden Club, and she tells us that today the Green Thumb Garden Club is having their plant sale at the Legion Hall on Fond du Lac Avenue. Until 3 this afternoon, they have natives, trees, shrubs, perennials, and other plants. The proceeds, she says, all help support agricultural scholarships. So from now until 3 this afternoon, if you need something you didn't get last week or you need more of it, head out to the Legion Hall, 300 Fond du Lac Avenue in Fond du Lac, and they got it. They got stuff. So good luck, Anita.
Yeah, and you're right out there by our friends at Hensey Floral too. So if you can't find it at the Green Thumb, you can
go down the block.
You can just go down the street about a tenth of a mile, and I guarantee they have it at Hensey Floral. They've got everything there. So
and if you didn't see enough color, it's also just good for the soul to walk through Hensey's.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, that's really quite the shop.
But yeah, start there at the Green Thumb program there and dot the I's and cross the T's from there.
There you go. All righty, we got about 5 minutes left. So if you got a question, give a holler, 923-1450, 888-900-1450. Anything else?
I've had a lot of people asking, talking about flowering crab apples this past week, and we're almost winding down there. There's kind of there's the early bloomers, the mid-season bloomers, and the late-season bloomers, and a lot
Sounds like an underwear ad.
and a lot of overlap this year because it stayed cool. So we were lucky enough to have the flowers last for 2 and sometimes even 3 weeks this year. So it was a good year for flowers and flowering crab that way. Some of these newer varieties, that aren't susceptible to apple scab and the different funguses, it's always so there too, if you visit a place like, Stewart's, again, I'm always hesitant to just start picking random places because I can't mention them all here, depending on where city you're from and area you're from, but like Orwapan, Wren's, they have the newest varieties of flowering crabs. They're not going to be the older varieties that are trying to get cleared out, and so if you're going to, the box stores, you're going to get kind of the cheapest ones, not the best ones. So, there again too, if the extra $10 or $20 that you might spend on a tree that's disease resistant and fungus resistant, it's, then you don't have to worry about that part of the show when you're listening to it. When we start talking about, fruit tree sprays and things like that. And you can spray, flowering crabs with fruit tree spray too. A flowering crab is kind of a fruit tree in its own way. And it'll, those fungicides that have, the systemic fungicide and insecticide in it, if you're having problems with your flowering crab, that's still a good product to use. But if you're planting a new one, pick out a new variety that is more disease resistant and fungus resistant. So,
does apple scab kill trees?
Well, it weakens them and it puts them in like the leaves will get the fungus on them and then the leaves will drop. So
right.
By the time you get to the middle of July or end of July, half of the leaves off of your flowering crab are laying on the ground around it, and you're stuck with leaf cleanup in both August and October that way. And they'll grow new leaves yet, but that's not always the best. If they defoliate and then start regrowing in August and September, they're on a different cycle. So, that's then you get tip dieback, and there's different problems that come up.
The reason I ask is some folks across the street, beautiful flowering crab for years, big. It's been around a long time. This year it's dead. It's all sticks. I mean, there's not a leaf on it.
Yeah, and it'll, it can, if you get hit.
It has had apple scab every
Yeah,
year. I've seen them fall.
Yeah, and it'll kind of weigh on it after 2 or 3 years. 1 year probably won't. You know, trees are tougher than that. But if it happens 2 or 3 times in a row, then you have to be real careful of it. So if it had a problem last year, then you want to spray it this year. You know, let it recover this year, so that you don't. Because if it goes 2 or 3 years in a row, that's when you'll start seeing sections, either big branches die or the whole tree would die
And
off.
that's what this one looks like. There's not a leaf on it.
Yeah, and if you don't have a leaf on it now, you're in trouble.
Yeah. You have a dead tree.
You might have a dead tree.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably do with a flowering crab, because most of those leafed out, flowered out a few weeks ago already. Some of the others, you know, we're still getting, you know, if you have an oak tree or a honey locust or some of those that leaf out a little, some of the elms leaf out a little bit later, you know, those, if they don't have leaves on yet, they probably will still get them. But some of the early flowering, early leafing ones, yeah, if they're not leafed now, you're in trouble.
You know what that means.
They're playing our song.
Playing our song.
So you can still get a delivery from Rademann's, 920-922-7612, or stop on out just 3 miles south of Fond du Lac, exit off of Highway 41 to the east, and we're right there on County B at the crest of the hill.
Alrighty, don't forget that Green Thumb Garden Sale going on at the Legion Hall now until 3 this afternoon. Our thanks to Delores, Master Gardener. Appreciate
Thank
seeing you. Our thanks to Ron Rademann. Always good to see you.